Beautiful. Okay, you ready? What are we doing?
Trying this.
One more. Almost. Yeah, boy. That was good, eh?
Yeah. Let's do another thing.
Gonna put the clutch on?
What?
Well, she's in. She's tighter than a nun's nasty. So that's extractors are heading there. I haven't done the mountains yet, it's just hanging off the chain. But yeah, touching there. And I got about 1/2 centimetre between the extractors and the steering rod. So yeah. Problem is the extractors are sitting on the body here, so that's not amazing. And then on this side the extractors are sitting on the steering shaft. So you can see that there, they're resting on that sort of bracket. So that's not ideal, which that needs to be 20 to 30 mil as well. And then the oil filter is resting very nicely on the chassis, which is not ideal. So I need to see if I can get a shorter oil filter, and most likely need to get some aftermarket extractors for this. It'll tuck in a bit more. I had the engine sitting back and it was hitting the handbrake assembly, so I've removed that and made a plate up, you can see there, and I've installed a internal handbrake that gives you about another 40 mil of room back there. And I've changed the factory headers over to these log style headers. These are made by a guy in Tauranga. They I had a yarn with him. That's him there, Max Fab. Really well priced. They were about $800. They're 910, including the postage. Yeah, so that's 72 mil. They do it, I think, a 72 and a 90. And then I got the bends added on, and I got these clips added on just to make things a bit easier for doing the exhaust pipe. And then obviously this oil dipstick basically went straight through these because it used to go underneath the old extractors. And yeah, so now I just had to bend that up nicely to get that to go. So it's a bit of a pain in the ass, but you got to do a fair amount of bending to get it in the right shape. And I've left about 25 mil clearance all the way around there, and I just had to weld this little bracket up. It's just the original bracket, and I just gave it a couple of little tack welds. It's solid as. Alright, so here's my engine mounts. I removed the factory 1UZ mounts. I didn't want to, everyone had said to chop just chop off the Hilux mounts off the chassis and just redo those. I really just want to, it's a really good straight Hilux, so I wanted to keep the original mounts. So I've just used the original diesel engine mounts, and I made up these mounts out of 6mm steel, so they're strong as buggery. It's quite easy actually, just plate on both sides, and I just used a bit of wood and shaped the wood into the shape that I wanted, and then I cut the plates and worked perfectly first time. And then this, I heard mixed things about the steering dampener. So excuse the power steering fluid, I had a bit of a leak. But yeah, it used to go up, you can see where it went up there, which is obviously straight through the sump. So I've just welded this bracket on down, I'm not even sure what that's for, but yeah, it's keeping it well clear of the sump. I'm not sure if it'll get accepted, but I can't see why not. It's pretty damn strong. It's only a steering dampener. But yeah, we'll see when it goes through certing. So that's another little issue, and it turns, I've spoken to a few people, they've had the same thing where the oil filter sits, it's almost touching the chassis. It's only not even half a centimetre off. And I've seen people, you can buy a bracket that screws on that shifts the oil filter, and there's also speaking to a guy, he said no, you can buy a aftermarket oil filter that's like an inch shorter, and apparently they're made for a lawnmower, like a big commercial lawnmower. So I've just put that on for now. So to get that off, I'm actually going to have to remove my engine mount, which I'm not too bothered about, because I'm only going to be removing it at the next service anyway. But yeah, I need to find out the number for that oil filter actually.
Yeah. Oh, you see something?
Ow! I see that thing!
Oh, you see the thing?
Wait, I see the car!
Oh, you're fixing it.
Yeah, fixing!
Nice.
So here's my gearbox adapter. So I've lifted that up, same as the body lift, and as you can see, I just made these sort of trapezoidal brackets, welded that whole thing up. It's same thing, it's out of 6mm steel, solid as, and still got all the original bolts into it, so I can't see why that would fail. And yeah, it shifts it forward about 40 odd mil. Yeah. Here's my exhaust. I had to get the log headers. I got them from a guy in Tauranga. I've gone 2 1/4 into 2 1/2, 2 flexies, and then into a Y junction here. And I've got these, I can't remember the name of them, but these are really cool brackets. It's just in case I need to unbolt it. Same thing, I've got the brackets up on the headers up there so that I can unbolt everything if it fails. I've also seen people say that they've been asked to put catalytic converters on, so hopefully I've left enough room to get a catalytic converter on there or there. Yeah, and pretty straightforward. Got the big resonator there. This is all 3-inch from here. Then just following the same track. It's really tight down there, so I'm not sure if they're going to allow that, but there's really no option other than I'm going to have to move that spare tyre over. But yeah, 2 resonators and then just a little bent pipe at the back. I've only just learnt to weld, so these welds aren't perfect, but pretty happy considering this is my first welding job. Giving them a bit of a clean up. Yeah, and this is an R151 gearbox, so I got the a different shaft from the original. The original one's totally different, doesn't work. And it was just a bit short here, so I had to get a spacer for it. So I spoke to the guys at Coast 4x4 and they said, yeah, when they do a body lift, they just put on a 1-inch spacer there, and it's worked out pretty damn good. So that, hopefully it's strong. They seem to reckon it is. I've got all the plugs and wires still to go on, but I don't want to do that while I'm lying under the car. It takes a bit of thinking, and I'd rather get it up on a hoist and do it. This has a digital speedo outlet, so, and this is a 1989 Hilux. I've got the old analog, so I'm trying desperately to track down one of those. It seems like you can buy these quite easily aftermarket, but you can't buy the analog fitting. So yeah, I need to sort that out as well. Yeah, so fuel pump wise, a few people have said, oh, drop the tank, put it in tank 1. I don't know why, I just didn't really want to put an in-tank 1 in. I even had one, so I ended up just getting a external pump. And a few people have said, oh, they're real noisy, but yeah, you got a 3-inch pipe, you know, with headers and 2 resonators, pretty loud, and started it up and you can't even hear the pump, so we'll see anyway. I figured I can always change it over after the fact. Yeah, so all the pipes and lines were adequate. This is only a factory one you said, so you don't need a huge amount of fuel. Yeah, so here it all is, mostly done. I'm going to run a dual battery setup, so I haven't quite set that up yet. So I've just got it sort of dodgy setup just for now. So I've still got to do the alternator, but I want to do that on a hoist. It's just a bit too tight under there. And a few wires here to tidy up, so just ignore that. But I've done a pretty good tidy up of the wires here. I didn't want to drill a big hole and try and run computer and everything in there. You know, some of you might think I'm silly, but there was a load of factory cables and wires and things there, and so I just got a old, you know, one of these waterproof ammo boxes, and everything's just in there now. It's quite easy to access. You just pop it open, and I got the computer and everything in here. It's a little bit tight. A couple of rags in there to stop things rattling. But yeah, it makes it a hell of a lot tidier engine bay, that's for sure. Yeah, just run a couple of relays, a couple of fuses, a couple of relays for fuel pump, and also for the fans. Yeah, so I got the engines pushed back. I've seen people had them like back, you know, within like 3 millimeters to the firewall. I wasn't too keen to do that, and I just don't think you need to. So I've got about a centimetre gap between the back of the engine and the firewall, which I think is ideal. And then I was looking, there's no room for a fan whatsoever. I've got quite a thick, this is 65mm thick radiator, and there's just not a chance in hell you can fit a fan even the slimmest ones made. I've got that nice one there, but it's just never going to work. So I ended up having to, managed to squeeze really nicely two 12-inch fans, and they literally touch in the sides on either side. Then yeah, I just decided to run a fan switch here, and obviously that runs back to the relay. That seems to work beautifully. Replace the thermostat, make sure that's working properly. What else is there? Yeah, so the throttle cable was pretty easy. This is a factory one. I just got a brand new factory one. I made a little bracket just to lift it up so that it wasn't rubbing in here. And I just got this little fitting from the local shop, and that's brilliant. It's so tight, it screws on there, not going anywhere. Works a treat. Blanked off. I'm not running a idle control unit, mainly because I know that you have to buy an aftermarket part from Cartoon Company or the likes. I did put the fitting in here for it, and we'll see how it goes, because I want to connect up an aircon, but I also don't have room for the aircon intercooler now. So I know if you run aircon that it's good to have a throttle control, idle control unit. So I can do that afterwards anyway. I'm not bothered about that. Yeah, what else is there? Yeah, power steering. Hooked the power steering up. I got some aftermarket braided hose and that. This thing was just spitting everywhere. So I tried to start it up before, and it just, you can see, it just sprayed power steering fluid everywhere. So yeah, I've got to still work that out. So I've got power steering fluid in there. So I'll fire it up. Right, here we go, the first official startup. Excuse me for a minute, I haven't adjusted the throttle, so I'm going to have to do it manually. Bloody power steering unit's pissing out. Sounds like the unit's shit itself. Sounds beautiful. Alright guys, here we are. It's all done. Started it up, the bloody power steering pump shit its pants. It just started spraying crap everywhere. Couldn't find what it was. Ended up there was a big crack in the back of the pump, so I had to buy a new power steering pump. Checked made sure I thoroughly cleaned out the alternator. The alternator had a bit of oil in it from previous owner, but put it back in, started up, checked voltage, had 14 volts, so that was all hooked up right. Sent it to the dyno, got it back running like shit. Bloody alternator packed it in, so had to bloody pull the alternator out. Got a second hand like alternator that was, you know, tested, good use, blah blah blah. Put that in, started up. That was dead, no voltage, so had to buy another bloody alternator, put that in. So yeah, couple of power steering pumps and 3 alternators, and got a good running engine now, I think. So yeah, it's pretty basic setup here, and as the more I own it, I'll probably change a few things on it. Might set up a idle control, might set up airflow meter, might change a computer from a Mega Squirt to a Link. Don't get a Mega Squirt. I've got the MS2, Mega Squirt 2, and absolute piece of crap. Had problems from the start. Had wouldn't run for ages. Just had to go through. I had to spend probably 10 hours of my time trying to sort out problems with it to get it running, and then none of the dyno tuners want to tune a Mega Squirt, so there was only one that would do it, and then even he said they're a piece of crap. So absolutely everyone I spoke to said they're a piece of crap, which I didn't know when I got it. I just seen online people say, oh, I'm running a Mega Squirt, and I never heard anyone say they're a piece of crap until I actually bought my one. Yeah, so now I know for next time to get a Link. Yeah, here we go anyway. I'll start her up.